The landscape of assistive technology has changed so much in the last few years, especially since I first lost my sight back in the Stone Age, as it seems, in 2001. But one such service and device seems to be a game changer when it comes to assistive technology for the blind and visually impaired, and that is known as Aira. What's up, VIPs? Welcome to my channel, and Aira is one of those services that comes along once in a great while. Yeah, we've got lots of great apps. I mean, Seeing AI is a fantastic app, and KNFB Reader, and there's great devices out there that we can use, magnifiers and all kinds of other great stuff. But Aira is something that changes the game and makes accessing our world a little bit easier and I think maybe a little bit more rewarding in the end. By the way, if you're new to the channel, my name is Derek and I help people just like you to discover life after sight loss. Here you'll find product reviews, life advice, encouragement, how-tos, and so much more. So if you're new here, then consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that bell icon so you don't miss another single video. Now maybe you're sitting there asking yourself, Derek, what in the world is Aira? Well, Aira is basically a service and some hardware put together to help you access the world with the help of another person. Now, Aira, spelled A-I-R-A, pronounced Aira, not Era, like maybe your iPhone will, but Aira is kind of like Be My Eyes, only on steroids. If you've ever heard of Be My Eyes, it's an app on your iPhone. You can call up a sighted person who's just kind of there to volunteer, and they'll help you find things or help you see things. But Aira, they take it a whole nother leap, not just a step forward, but just like leaps and bounds forward. So with Aira, you contact somebody, which is known as an agent, and then that agent has access to information for you. So they can see either through your iPhone or Android phone camera, or you can have a pair of smart glasses, sort of like Google glasses, and Aira's actually developing their own glasses right now. And so you have those on and they can see through that as well. So they can have this landscape of what you're seeing, as well as access to your GPS location. They can help you call an Uber or a Lyft. They can look up restaurant menus. They can get access to airport locations and layouts and all kinds of other great stuff that other apps wouldn't have access to. And these agents are trained specifically to help describe the world around you as a visually impaired person. So it's a great service and helps people like you and me, if you're visually impaired, to access the world in a much different way. Now that sounds really good, but Aira's not without its controversy. Some people would think, and maybe you're in this camp, that wow, that just sounds like we're depending on sighted people all over again, which we've worked so hard to not be dependent on sighted people. We want to be independent. We want to go out and go to places and do things without having the need of a sighted person. But let's face it, sometimes an extra pair of eyes is just really helpful. And there's some things we just can't do without an extra set of eyes. Now, Aira's not going to drive a car for us, obviously, but they can do so many things. And the most important part of that is they can do it on our time instead of waiting for your sighted friend or family member to do it with you on their time. Now, another thing about Aira is its pricing. I will be upfront and honest, it's not the cheapest thing out there. But you have to remember that when you're working with a niche group like blind and visually impaired people, the cost is going to be higher. Why? Well, for example, when you go out and you get a new cell phone, then millions of other people are getting that same cell phone. So obviously the product doesn't have to be as expensive. But when you're buying something like a desktop magnifier or something like eSight or any other such product or device for a blind and visually impaired person, the cost is going to be a lot higher because you're not having millions of people buy it, you're having thousands, maybe even just hundreds purchasing that product. The way Aira has decided to do their service and hardware is by a monthly subscription service. So basically, you sign up and you get so many minutes per month, either 100, 200, 400, or unlimited. And then the prices for that vary between $89 for the 100 minutes or $329 for the unlimited plan. And again, that's a per month price. Now you might be saying, well, that's ridiculous. I can't pay that. How dare Aira come out and charge us for this and blah, blah, blah. How, we're unemployed and we have high unemployment in blind people. It's crazy. But here's the thing. Yes, it's a little pricey right now, and I agree and I get it. But what I like is that Aira is going out and actively looking for ways to offset those costs even now. So for example, they have something called site access, where they go to maybe an airport or a restaurant or a Target or a mall or something like that, and they want that facility to then pay for your minutes. Now, it doesn't mean they pay for every individual minutes, and I don't know exactly how the contract works or anything, but they're paying for that service. So when somebody with Aira walks into that place, they get a notification that says, hey, this is a site access place. You get free minutes, and it won't count against your minutes for the month. And I think that is a pretty cool option. Next, they're working on whole cities doing this, where a city gets involved and says, how can we help the blind and visually impaired people in our communities? Well, they say, hey, this is a great way. So when you're in that city, it doesn't take away from your minutes. And that, in the future, could be so beneficial to lots and lots of Aira customers. Or, by the way, Aira explorers. That's what they call people who are signed up for Aira. Not customers or clients, Aira explorers. I think that's pretty cool. Now, for full transparency's sake, I will let you know that I have recently signed up for Aira. I have signed up, I've talked to a couple of agents on the phone, and I'm waiting to get my glasses at this point, which hopefully when I do, I'll have more videos about them. But I decided to take the plunge into this to see what it was like and to tell you guys what it's like as well. Hopefully it will do great and wonderful things. And from the Aira explorers that I've talked to in recent days, it's done some great things for them. Not only is it the stories that they tell, but it's how they tell them. It's the excitement that they have, the amazing enjoyment that they get out of using the service for things that they hadn't thought about. Everything from telling whether a banana is green or yellow to navigating a major metropolitan airport. It's done all kinds of great things for them, and they find that it really improves their lives. Again, they're not losing any of their blind skills. They have orientation and mobility training and all that stuff, but it just makes a difference where something was needed before, and this really fills that service. Now again, Aira isn't trying to take the place of your blind skills, your O&M training. In fact, when I called in, they asked me a bunch of questions. Some of them were, do you use a cane or a guide dog? Have you had O&M training and things like that? And one of their stances is, if you're out and traveling and they see you don't have a cane or a guide dog, they will disconnect the call because they're not there to replace what you use as a visually impaired person or replace what you do as using your blind skills, if you will. So it's a great company that seems like they really want to help blind and visually impaired people, but they don't want to take away what they've already learned and their independence that they've gained. So that's just a little bit or maybe a lot about Aira, and maybe you have other questions. Well, I'd love to hear about it. So whatever you got. Oh, how does this work? How does that work? What happens if this? I'd love to answer them for you if I can, or if I can't, I'll help find the answers. And, maybe you're an Aira explorer. If you've got a story of the way Aira has helped you or something you've really enjoyed, leave that in the comments below as well so that all of us can gain insight about this service and see what it's really all about. Things like Aira only come around once in a while, and so it's important to at least take a look at these things and say, how's it going to be beneficial for the blind and visually impaired community today and in the future? So if you have questions or comments or whatever, leave them in those comments below. I'd love to hear about it, and I'm sure others would as well. Hey, if you liked this video, if you found it helpful, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with somebody that you know, and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another single video. Thanks again for watching wherever you are, and until next time, remember that sight loss isn't the end, it's just the beginning. My name is Derek Daniel from lifeaftersightloss.com, and I'll see you in the next one.